What is going on, you guys? My name is Merce Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a little more impromptu and unpolished than usual, since Treyarch just came out with their Zombies reveal today for Black Ops Cold War, and I wanted to analyze the trailer and upload a video as soon as possible. I spent a long time watching and rewatching the entire reveal so I could help point out a few hidden items, and discuss some of the new changes coming to the game. I will be talking over most of the video and cutting directly to parts I feel you will find some interest in so I don't get copyright striked from the music that they used. There is a lot of stuff to go over, so I do want to dive right in. However, before I get into the video, I do want to ask if you haven't already that you hit the like button and hit subscribe with the bell notification icon turned on. That way it helps this channel grow and it keeps you notified whenever I post a new video such as this. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. So the first thing I notice is this Project End Station appears multiple times throughout the video, being printed on the developer's wall and shown in the game. We then get our first look at Weaver and his control center. However, he references the woman directly as Sam. This person has a German accent as well, so to me this tells me that Samantha is in the narrative, but as an adult. Otherwise, Treyarch is really trolling us if they're really about to make a new female character with the name Sam in Zombies. Come on. Here I wanted to show a close-up of the package Sam sent Weaver and turn it right side up to see the shipping details. I didn't really see anything super duper important here. However, when I take the tapes label, which is written in Russian, and I translate it, it loosely translates to End Machine Tool Terminus. If any of you know how this can be connected to the story we know, please let me know down in the comments. This footage is supposed to be from World War II, I believe, and it looks like the soldier is using a PPSH, so I wonder if we'll be able to play with this. It also looks like this soldier is using what I think is the M1911, so again, wondering if this is a playable weapon in the game. I thought this was interesting. Here we see a soldier with the flashlight attached to their vest, but soon after we see a gun with a flashlight attachment. I don't know if this is just a graphics glitch or if this is a gameplay mechanic where different guns yield better amounts of light. I don't know. It looks like the teddy bear will be replaced with a bunny this time around, and we see a graffiti image of this change on the wall. I tried looking at the rest of the graffiti throughout the trailer, but I could not determine anything else really worth mentioning right now, so we might see some more details when the game comes out. I thought this was minor but worth pointing out. You can see the new Elemental Pop perk machine shut off in the background, which tells me the traditional power switch system is back. However, we'll dive into something I noticed with the new perk machines in a little bit that might challenge this idea. Here I noticed this purple arrow in the background. I think these are the same ones used to show you where the power is. I just wanted to say that I love the new styling in this map. They're embracing the colors of the 80s, but they're sticking to a really gritty texture overall. I really think it's a nice mix. This is something kind of quick. This is our first look at what I believe is the power button versus our normal power switch that we've been used to. And this blue liquid clip kind of piqued my interest, mainly because of the footage shown towards the end of the trailer. You can tell it's a liquid from the reflections shown towards the vent, and we'll get more into this later. I didn't notice any small details to point out here, but I just wanted to show you this awesome view of the bunker. This looks to be a totally new area, contrary to what some people thought of it being a remake of the transit power room. And soon after that clip, we're shown the first shot of many of this purple energy ball thing. If I had to guess, this is probably concentrated dark ethereal energy, and this is probably going to stand as a replacement to 115 in the new storyline. I wanted to pause the video and show off this awesome zombie texture. Also, notice the red band on its left arm. This confirms that the bunker and storyline are based around World War II elements still. And I wanted to show this part because of the thing in the top left corner. I don't know if this could be anything special or if it's just a strand of lights like we see later in the trailer. And I thought this part of the trailer was interesting. I originally thought this was a new wonder weapon equipment, but I feel like this will be one of the new lethal slots we'll be able to have in our Create a Class. Oh yeah, Create a Class is back. More on that later. I thought this white piece stood out when watching the trailer, but I don't know what it is. The way Treyarch kept it in frame as the camera moves tells me it does have some sort of significance, but again, I don't know what it could be, but it definitely stands out. This thing on the right looks like a new trap to me, however, it sort of looks like one of the new intel stations in the game. Again, we'll talk more about the intel stations in a bit. Treyarch confirms we're going to have access to score streaks in this game, and judging by how powerful this sentry gun looks, we'll be seeing this moved into the score streak category instead of being a piece of lethal equipment. Also wanted to show this close-up of the info printed on the sentry gun's tags. This is our first look at what I believe to be a pile of scrap. It's really hard to notice with what's going on in this scene, but it's buried among the corpses on the ground. I feel like this pile will be something we have to collect enough of to upgrade something like our guns. Maybe like a special currency for the new Pack-a-Punch? I'm not totally sure. In this next clip, we do get a great look at the Deadshot Daiquiri machine. Treyarch seems to be using familiar elements and mechanics, but putting a visual twist on them. To me, I think this is a welcome addition. I think this is really nice. And very quickly, they give us a good look at a pistol wall buy, in which case I think it's the RK5 or some sort of variant of the 3-round pistol. Now, this may not look like much, but to me, this section of the video is pretty special. You can see Quick Revive very faint in the background. I know this is Quick Revive because they show this area close-up later on the machine hooked up to a generator. Now, normally in the past, we spawn in the same space as Quick Revive. Now, I don't know if we're going to spawn outside next to this machine, or if we no longer spawn next to Quick Revive, or I don't know if we need to turn on the power for Quick Revive to work. Honestly, in the back of my mind, I also hope this isn't the case, but Quick Revive might not serve its usual function of reviving you in solo anymore. I'm totally guessing on that, but if it's all the way on the other side of the map, if we're not spawning there, that kind of tells me it won't be as significant as it usually is. But again, we won't know until we get more information on this or when the game comes out. I just wanted to show the writing by the mystery box, and from what I could make out, it reads, "See it stalking in the..." And I kind of lose it there. If you guys have any ideas, again, let me know in the comments. Treyarch gives us a great couple of shots of the new Wonder Weapon, which seems to take some visual cues from the jet gun in Transit, but it works totally different. It shoots this blue energy ball thing that seems to destroy any zombie in its path. I like this clip because we get to see the box will still have a light shining above it, again, keeping those classic mechanics in play. I'm definitely a fan of that. But here's that weird part again. If you pay attention, you can see the zombies drop this pile of scrap when they're killed, and we see this happen 4 times in the clip. Since there are so many dropping, it tells me we need to collect a lot of these throughout the game. They're going to be really common. And looking at the color scheme of these drops and the new colors on the Pack-a-Punch that shows up later in the trailer, I have to bet you pick up enough of these to upgrade your gun versus just spending 5,000 points each time. This part stood out to me because of the green weapon wall buy. Treyarch has it cut off and to the side, so immediately that's a red flag to me. Maybe in these caves the creatures interact with the wall buys somehow. They might be able to lock them similarly to Brutus and Mob of the Dead. That's the first thing that comes to mind, but again, I am not sure. However, Treyarch does show us one of the crafting benches that will be used, which means buildables are definitely back. Otherwise, this is just an overly detailed piece of scenery, but this camera angle tells me it's not. We already knew Juggernog was coming back from the initial teaser, but here's our first look at the machine in this trailer. The developers made sure to show it off a few times in this reveal, don't worry. I have no idea what this could be, but I thought this blue piece on the left stood out. Again, if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. Alright, so I mentioned this with Quick Revive already, but some of the perks are hooked up to generators. So are some of the perk machines excluded from the normal power switch system, or is this just for aesthetics? The developers made very sure they showed off the chopper gunner score streak in the trailer. I don't know how I feel about this. Initially, I don't like the idea of having score streaks, but we'll have to see how it is when playing. This clip shows the zombies dropping special grenades with a blue outline. I'm guessing you pick these up to replace your tactical and lethal equipment. I find it kind of weird how many drops there will be in this new game just from the trailer alone. And here's a few shots of the new Pack-a-Punch machine in action, and man, does it look good. It looks like the original, but someone got tired of waiting and just went full Hulk mode and ripped the whole front of the machine off. But like I mentioned with the piles of scrap, this Pack-a-Punch machine's color scheme closely resembles the colors on the scrap, so I'm still betting there's a new way to pay for your gun's upgrades with this. Of course, towards the end of the trailer, Treyarch throws us a curveball and shows us this player in a blue ghost form. I think we're either going to see a return of the Afterlife system, or possibly Who's Who is coming back, but in a form that's actually good. As you can see, the player is using a war machine instead of the starting pistol. My other thought was maybe the new Wonder Weapon can be shot at teammates, similarly to how the upgraded VR-11 could be used to make others invincible on Call of the Dead. Here's a great look at the new perk Elemental Pop. I don't know exactly what this perk would do, but I'm guessing it affects the type of ammo your gun shoots, as they show this clip of everyone shooting purple shots at zombies immediately after. Of course, this could just be the normal Pack-a-Punch effects, but I think this could be a replacement for double Pack-a-Punch's elemental upgrades, but again, I am just guessing here. This clip shows the ray gun front and center, but it's nice to see it's making a return in its original form. And at the very end of the trailer, we see this big boss zombie. This stands out to me because of the Russian pack it's wearing outside of its hazmat suit. All of the other zombies we've seen so far are in German uniforms, so what's up with the Russian zombie? Also, why is he holding some sort of elemental stone? I mean, this can't be the focusing stone, at least I don't think, but to me this still seems a little strange. And at the very, very end of the trailer, there are a few frames with this Russian word at the very end. It's nothing special, it just translates to November. They're just calling out the release date. And this part of the trailer is straight up confusing. So here we see Frank Woods killing zombies on the same map, but at night. And there are what seem to be jellyfish in the sky, and the color scheme of this scene reminds me of Der Eisendrache again, especially with the blue 115 elemental specks kind of floating throughout the air. This has to be some sort of alternate mode or something. Again, this is a total guess here. Maybe this is a teaser for Treyarch's new Battle Royale mode, similarly to how we had a teaser for zombies in the multiplayer reveal. Treyarch had zombies in certain zombie-themed areas of Blackout, so maybe they're doing the same thing on their new take on Warzone? I mean, Warzone's areas are based off of the campaign and multiplayer in Modern Warfare, so there's possibly a new Warzone map in Cold War that does the same, but also has, Die Maschine included. I'm also thinking this because the generic lines Wood says while shooting, like, you can't kill me and back off. They don't really add a lot of substance. Treyarch usually gets a little more creative than that for lines and zombies. Alright, so after the trailer ends, Treyarch starts to go in depth about some of the gameplay and story mechanics in Cold War Zombies. They show this close-up of Quick Revive and explain how there are old systems but with a visual update. I especially love this because they updated the price on the machine to save 40 cents instead of saying 10 cents like World War II counterparts, so it kind of makes sense with the story, and I think this will help with gameplay a lot. Next, there's an awesome look at the outside of the map. It definitely looks like way more of the map is playable than ever before. Also, the same bunny we saw painted on the inside is back again towards the bottom left corner of this frame, which tells me it plays a significant role in the story, just like the teddy bear always has. Now, while showing some of the characters close up, they show this zombie with a bright blue head in the background. Is this a new kind of elemental zombie, or is this just a lighting glitch? Okay, let's listen to the dialogue here where the Treyarch developer kind of talks about the story.
The very end of Black Ops 4, our characters sacrificed themselves to collapse the multiverse and try and create a singular world where zombies didn't exist. And they were half right.
Alright, so what was explained is that this will be the same universe as the Primus crew, but now we're writing a new storyline to continue where they left off. This is all happening within the newly generated reality after the child version of Samantha killed Nikolai and Nacht Der Untoten. This reality must be where Samantha and Eddie walked off into at the very end of Nacht Der Untoten's cutscene, but why isn't Nolan North, who's the voice of Richthofen, making a return if his counterpart is still a main character? I'm going to stop talking again to let you listen to this part of the video.
This is a Cold War story, and it will be driven by a diverse group of organizations and characters.
So he mentions there are not only multiple characters, but multiple organizations involved with this new story. In the past, we've always had different organizations written into the storyline, but they've never really been addressed directly by developers and have more or less been side stories. So the fact that we're being told about this update directly tells me we're going to have more than our traditional 4 characters to choose from. Next, they show this handwritten letter. It's a little hard to read, but essentially it says there is a group who has discovered secrets from the archives, and they are going to launch a ground operation to investigate. This is written by someone named Tatiana. I mean, this is kind of a general message, but it does help with the narrative nonetheless. And here's an even closer look at what I believe to be the power button, which will replace the traditional power switch with the severed hand. Again, kind of cool to point out. The developers explain there's a new on-demand intel system. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm hoping they don't remove the normal medium for delivering the narrative, which is typically through like hidden radios and clues, and instead give us intel to pop into a machine on a silver platter. This sounds like a way to get casual players more involved with the storyline. Also wanted to point out the AK-74U weapon wall buy is shown in this scene. Here we see the same pile of scrap I've talked about numerous times. This has to be a major part of the new game for Treyarch to show it off this many times. Also shown in this clip is a player meleeing a zombie in the background. At first I thought they were just knifing it like usual, but this time it looks like they're taking the butt of their gun and hitting the zombie just like in multiplayer. So I'm wondering if the melee mechanic is going to be changed up a little bit. They do show off the speed cola machine, but updated with some 70s flair. Still shows the, the 40 cents price on the outside, just like Quick Revive, but this definitely shows how time has progressed. It's not totally updated, but it's almost there. I think this is really cool. I think what Treyarch is doing with the progression system is awesome. I'm going to play the clip where they discuss the new mechanics and kind of chime in afterwards.
That starts with progression. This year, we've unified progression and loadouts across all of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That means wherever you play across multiplayer zombies, your global rank and weapons level stays connected.
You'll be unlocking weapons and equipment, score streaks that will be usable across the entirety of the game.
So what this means is that whatever your weapon level is in multiplayer, it will be the same in zombies and vice versa. They also say this is the case for equipment and score streaks, which to me sounds great if we're going to have them in the game, and it makes the whole game feel a lot more unified. However, on the opposite side of things, I'm not really a fan of what they say in this next section.
No more starting with a pistol. Bring in your AR, your SMG, whatever you're feeling.
And with all weapons boasting rarity with power levels, you can continue to increase your gun's damage potential however you choose. Every gun has a path to become an uber weapon.
Bring in your AR. This was one of my biggest gripes with Black Ops 4's Zombies system. Starting up with the map felt way too easy when you were given an SMG, but some people might be so bad at the game that they'll need an assault rifle too. Also, I get nervous when I hear every gun has a path to become an uber weapon. Double Pack-a-Punch made every gun feel like a wonder weapon and made high rounds way too easy. This sort of sounds like the same thing. I don't know, a lot of what we've seen today looks incredible, but this kind of stuff scares me. And I'm afraid Activision and Treyarch are going to be turning zombies into more of a casual mode instead of one about skill and survival. And they keep saying all of these mechanics are in place because it makes the game more fun. Yes, that's great and all, but Zombies isn't just about having fun. I know that sounds ridiculous, but part of Zombies is struggling to set up, working to discover story elements, and grinding to earn great weapons. And all of these factors combined give the player a sense of satisfaction and amount to an overall sense of fun. But now it sounds like Treyarch is aiming for immediate satisfaction. Let's just jump in with your weapon, your lethal, your tactical, your support equipment, and here's your story intel, just put it in the machine. Oh, and on top of all this, playing until you die isn't the only way of ending zombies anymore.
Traditionally in Zombies, the only way out was death. Our new exfil system solves this.
If things get tense and the squad is in trouble, you have the option to exfil to a chopper and earn some rewards. But only if you can survive a few more rounds of zombie spawns dialed up to 11.
Okay, so now you get to pull the ripcord and get rescued from the map. Yay, everybody wins! But again, I'm not a huge fan of this. However, I know there are a bunch of modded maps from World at War and Black Ops 3 that did the same thing, and people liked it, so I could be in the minority here, but again, to me, this just kind of sounds like we want to satisfy the brand new players. That's fine and all, but you also have players that have been playing this for over a decade that want a decent challenge. Very quickly, here's a close-up of the Monkey Bomb returning in Cold War. To me, this is always welcome. Awesome job, Treyarch.
This is the most connected and robust Zombies experience in history. It also delivers a first for Zombies, a fully cross-play experience with progression systems that tie Zombies to the Battle Pass. We're dropping free post-launch Zombies content to the community for the first time as well.
Okay, this is awesome. I mean, this technically isn't the first time Zombies DLC is free, since World at War did this on PC, but this is huge for the Zombies community. There's no more dividing everyone between those who do and don't pay for the new maps. Plus, when this game is no longer the newest Call of Duty, there will be way more players on DLC maps than other CODs. Like, for example, when you try to play with randoms on an older Call of Duty, the vast majority play the on-disc map while only like 7 to 10% play on the others. This should be now more evenly divided unless some crap maps kind of come out in the future. Crossplay was sort of an unconfirmed given since Modern Warfare does this already and Cold War uses the same engine, but having crossplay means this will be the most inclusive, future-proof Zombies game to date, which is sick. Imagine going back to play this game 5 years from now and still being able to find matches with random players. This should be the case because instead of being locked down to one console, you can play across all systems and all generations. Okay, what is this crate? This seems like a place where you would find intel to put into the machines they're talking about, or it could have some equipment hidden inside, like a score streak, for example. Okay, so that was the end of the Zombies reveal. However, as I was editing this video, Treyarch also dropped the intro cinematic for Die Maschine. However, most of the footage was shown in the reveal, unfortunately, but there are a few more details to go over. Let's listen to what Sam and Weaver talk about in the beginning about how she got the footage that she sent.
How did you get hold of this?
A friend in the KGB. A late friend.
Germans have Russian friends?
Yeah, some of us do.
Okay, this voice clip is huge. To me, this totally confirms this is the same Samantha we've been used to all this time because she references her late Russian friend in the KGB. The only thing that kind of throws me off is the KGB part. As far as I know, Nikolai was not associated with the KGB, but he certainly is a late Russian friend, and considering how Sam shoots Nikolai at the end of Nacht Der Untoten, this connection is very personal. The way Sam describes this friend is kind of dismal, which makes me think it is Nikolai, but again, that KGB detail really throws me off.
Turn yourself in. The CIA can protect you. I can protect you.
I can't do that, Weaver. The Omega Group have plans for the outbreak zones. I have to stay in the field.
Sam, please!
Here we get another confirmation of who these two characters are. So Weaver and Sam. I also think we're dealing with the same Samantha because Treyarch waits until the very end of the cinematic to say her name to add some shock value. This part of the intro stood out to me as well.
This is the only way.
This sounds familiar. I want to say this is a reference to the end of Der Eisendrache when Richtofen tells Dempsey,
"It is the only way,"
before taking the old Dempsey's soul. Or this could be pure coincidence and I'm over-speculating. I also don't think Sam is going to be a playable character, unfortunately. Just listening to the dialogue and seeing her, just walk off screen and not seeing her really much other than that in the trailer tells me she and Weaver will just be used as narrative devices for this storyline versus being full-on playable characters. All right, as you can see, we are going to do this in one take. We're going to do it live. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So looking at this page for Cold War Zombies, it does give us a brief synopsis of what the revealed trailer and the developer discussion was all about. When we continue through here, we do see it's still a 4-person co-op. It's going to please, veterans and newcomers. So again, from what I was seeing, it looked like they were really catering to the newcomers, but we'll have to take a look. They do detail, fan favorite perks, Cold War weaponry, and then they show us this screenshot. Now, this looks like the thing I was thinking could be Battle Royale with the Der Eisendrache sort of scenery, but when they put it in this Zombies article, it does make me think it could be part of the traditional mode, but I'm not totally sure. Maybe there's some sort of like power-up or weapon that activates this. And then when we go more into it, they do, again, detail it is part of Nacht Der Untoten. They're kind of giving a twist to that. And with this new Die Maschine map, we're going to be going into the 80s and taking a look back into the past, which would be, like the references to the World War II era. And looking at this, it does give us more of a cut and paste sort of storyline. A few groups want to explore this bunker, including the Omega Group. And this stood out to me a little bit. Number one, of course, they've got these things in bold, but this stands out as, maybe being a relation to the Alpha Omega map, because we do see this screenshot here, and these zombies do look a lot like the ones that we saw in the bunker on Alpha Omega. Going through this here, it does give us some of the features and, the platform sort of detailing, and does, of course, say it is cross-play and cross-generation. So since we're in the middle of that transitional period, there's going to be so many platforms that this game covers, which, to me, that's perfectly fine, and it's going to make for a very good future-proof Call of Duty. And it does detail some of the battle pass here and how your progress will carry over between zombies and multiplayer, and they're talking about, you know, how Warzone would work with that as well. And they're going to have, you know, your gunsmith weapons, you know, with the loadout support sort of thing. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. Now, the weapon rarity, they did touch on in the reveal. They didn't go too much in depth with that, so let's go ahead and read through it. So in addition to the return of Pack-a-Punch to transform your weapon, all weapons will now have a rarity associated with them. So the higher the rarity, the greater the damage output and attachments are for the weapon. And for the first time, this will allow any weapon in the game to be sustainable in later rounds. This also adds more variety and fun to finding new weapons through wall buys and the mystery box. And talking about field upgrades, again, they kind of touched on it. They didn't go too much in depth with them. We're going to be able to deploy these field upgrades that kind of help us out with the gameplay. So probably the exact same way like Black Ops 4 worked. And looking at equipment, it does say around the map you can craft and find lethal, tactical, and support equipment. So this makes me think that, you know, it's going to work a lot like Black Ops 4 where you can choose your lethal when you're starting out, because they did say you can do that in the reveal, but then you can pick up certain equipment like the monkey bombs. I'm hoping it doesn't just replace your lethal grenade. I'm hoping it functions like another piece of equipment, but only time will tell. It does kind of point out you can, you know, deploy things like grenade launchers or explosive bows and chopper gunners. So it looks like we're just going to have one slot for all of that, which kind of helps even out the game so it's not too overpowered. However, this is something they did not talk about. I'm looking through it right now. Again, I did look at the article before doing this, but I didn't go too in depth with it. This is something they didn't talk about in the reveal. There is no longer a limit to how many perks you can consume. Go ahead and crack open a 6-pack if you have the points to do so. I hope there's not only 6 perks in the game, but man, again, catering to newcomers here. When you have a limit of 4 perks, it kind of gives you a sense of, you know, strategy, and you've got to make sure you get your essential perks, or, you know, even the fact that, oh, I bought my 4 perks and there's this different perk that I want. You have to, like, down yourself and get back up and rebuy everything. There's a cost to it, but now it's just, nope, buy as many as you want. Not a fan of that. There's the exfil system that they detail. So again, if you just want to pull the ripcord and get out of there, you can. They do say that spawns are going to be dialed up to 11, so we'll see what that looks like. So maybe that'll be almost like the level of, you know, trying to survive with Golden Pack-a-Punch on Nacht Der Untoten. Of course, they're saying you're going to earn some rewards if you complete the final push, so maybe it'll be worth it. Depends on what we're looking at there. But again, to me, just kind of seems like, okay, so just so the newcomers have a way to feel accomplished instead of just dying every time. Or if you really want to end the game early and not lose your progress, I guess that's a good way to look at it. Then they kind of call out, you know, pre-orders and when the betas are going to be live, and they kind of encourage you to visit their website. So, I mean, kind of, you know, looking at this here, it does have a lot of the same information as the reveal trailer, but with, you know, some of these new screenshots. This is why, again, I felt this was pretty interesting to put into this video. But looking at the equipment and looking at the perks, I don't know what to think about that. To me, I'm a little turned off, not gonna lie. But if you guys like that, again, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. But this article, I feel, is pretty interesting, and I'm hoping the game turns out well. It really seems like Treyarch's trying to put their best foot forward here. Black Ops 4 kind of felt a little rushed, and the storyline was something that I wasn't personally interested in. I know I talked about that in the last video I made. So this one being tied in with the old storyline, but still being a new story entirely, I love that idea, and I'm hoping that this game attracts a lot of fans like never before. So with that, that's going to be the end of the video. So again, I do want to thank you guys for watching. And if you didn't already, please hit the like button and subscribe with the bell notification icon turned on. You guys won't get notified unless you have that notification icon clicked. So let's make sure we are doing that. It does help this channel grow, and it does keep you informed when a new video gets posted, such as this. Again, we are doing it live, so sorry about the stutters here. So with all that out of the way, I do want to say thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.